become, genuine relational, and embracing the mess is kind of 2. Okay.
Yeah. You must be talking
And
about
then 3, I went with the discipleship culture. We may start varying here, but what did you guys have for 3? Discipleship.
I think the missional and the discipleship kind of connect in my mind, so I had missional.
Yeah, well, my thought was that the discipleship will lead to the
Yeah.
missional. As you're going deeper in your understanding of Christ.
Exactly.
As I was remembering these, I basically thought in terms of process, like.
Yeah. So did you do disciple 3 or
discipleship was 4, but I didn't combine anything.
Oh,
so it would have been 3.
Okay, and then from there I went with the missional, incarnational, and maintaining a passionate outward focus. Is that kind of where we went from there? Simplicity was 5. I mean, I did, so then from there I did simplicity 5, more committed to the future than the past 6, and corporate worship. I kind of feel like committed to the future in the past and the corporate worship isn't necessarily a core value. Yeah. Actually, the corporate worship one is really the discipleship in a way that you're kind of teaching people to, to not just worship on Sunday. So I think if we were to take the ideas and kind of formulate them, starting with number 1, gospel centrality. Number 2 is kind of this relational aspect. We're going to accept people. They're going to come as they are. They're going to belong, and they're allowed to belong before they believe or behave. Kind of the relational aspect. And number 3, we want to be going deeper into discipleship culture with people. And then 4 is kind of the mission and the outward, passionate focus on others. Now again, maybe we're getting a little too much. Maybe we're just sounding like our purpose.
That's what I was thinking.
So maybe we're going the wrong way with some of these. I don't know. What's his name? Batterson. He uses the word mantra. We have a mantra here at NCC. And it's just sort of, this is a saying that kind of, to me it's kind of what I'm thinking. Something that, what's that?
3 to thrive. I've got a few also.
3 to thrive.
Yeah.
Those are some mantras I've heard.
Last commandment should be our first priority.
I got a whole list actually.
I did too, through my head. Yeah.
And I'll be like,
you're recording this, Mike?
I'm posting this.
You gotta make sure you let Mark know. Mark's the guy who puts Amy on Facebook for the first time in pants. And then he can't take it down.
Oh yeah. That was true though. I posted her in pants.
We're choosing to believe you.
And I wasn't able to on Facebook.
Pictures.
No joke. Like it was some kind of server error or something. It was something like with the internet. Like I tried
to. This is our one agreement. If I put pants on everybody's pictures, you cannot post them to Facebook.
Was that the agreement?
Should I put that in writing?
Remember that thing about instructions?
You're going to memorize this whole book, right, Mark?
So do you guys feel like these are, some of the gospel centrality, that's not really in the purpose. I don't want it to sound like the purpose statement. And maybe some of that's in the
who are our core values for? Are we going to be teaching just for our people or it's just for us?
Well, it'd be for, hey. No, how you doing?
Guest house?
He's a neighbor.
Oh.
This community you. That's very nice to
come in. Yeah, to me, the core values are for us, but then the
so they're basically like reminders to keep us on
track. Yeah.
Doing that filter, right?
Right. So again, the simplicity is if we ever get to the point where we're like, we're getting really complicated. This doesn't match core values.
Doesn't belong, believe, become cover a lot of things other than maybe like simplicity? Like belong, believe, become, that covers a lot of the, even gospel centrality, the relationship. Yeah. I think that covers almost all of it. The only thing that I would say it doesn't cover is like the simplicity, which is kind of like the structure of the church, like making sure that we keep it simple. And then I guess the more committed to the future than the past. But other than that, I think belong, believe, become, you're just
becoming.
explaining it more in all these
That's
other
true.
statements.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So what are you saying? That's a good one?
Yeah, I think that encompasses all of these. So it's almost like you're, like that's the main point, and then you're like describing that with all of these little
I think
points.
with core values, they need to be very specific.
Those are vague. True. You know?
Yeah.
Like the one that Steve Miller posted. When I initially looked at that, I thought, it doesn't really do anything for me. It doesn't grab me. It doesn't really say to me, you know, much.
But I'm sure that even for someone like
Inspired.
yeah, but for someone like Steve Miller, I mean, there was probably a team meeting where those were described, those were communicated in a little bit more of a, inspirational way, so that now when I see a word, I associate it with the thoughts that were shared, or I'm kind of reminded of what those actually do represent, especially if it's just for us. I mean,
So are you saying it
I'm
should
saying
be
a
more
single.
simple now?
I'm saying a single word could get it across as long as it's communicated to us in a clear way.
Well, yeah, because it's like it's what you would filter any decision that's made, any new thing that's being implemented. You'd filter it through these core values, right? Is that kind of the concept?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so we're going to start small groups. Okay, does that connect with believe, become, or belong? Well, yeah, it connects with belonging and
Well,
becoming.
the belong, believe, become. The idea of that
is more of a process.
is that people can, yeah. So a lot
I
of
see
people,
what you're saying.
yeah, people
The
can
emphasis
belong
is
before
that.
they believe.
The emphasis is that we're allowing people to belong before.
Yeah, and honestly,
Okay.
the become, usually it's belong, believe, behave. And churches switch it around. You have to behave before you can
Okay, so that's coming
believe
from
and
almost a
before you can belong.
background.
Yeah, that's
Okay, I
to me
see.
that's how we deal with people.
Okay.
People will belong first, and we believe that as they belong, as we make them feel belong, that's kind of the relational, that they will believe, and that as they believe, they will eventually become. They will be transformed.
I think, even for I'm thinking of like something like more committed to the future than the past, like one word, forward focus. That is 2 words, but you put a little life in there.
Well, I was going to say 2 words. Like a lot of these, I think you've got gospel centrality is great.
Don't mind me. Yeah. Forward focus. Like
You can
took
do
a
2.
drink too.
here for your enjoyment. You're welcome. Everybody. Laugh a little.
You can also put a description. I mean, you can have 2 words or whatever,
And then a
kind of a
descriptive afterwards.
sentence
I
or 2.
like that concept.
Yeah, because I think all these, you got
Word and then describe it.
missional and incarnational. You got relational community. I mean, all these you can put in 2 words, and then you have just a little bit of description after it if it's something that needs to be, determined.
Close your kids.
I guess, of course, we just lost that.
Is this something that you share with the church, or just mainly for like?
No, I think it would, and it could come out, maybe not all at once, but as we're building a team, as we're even having interest meetings, we could say these are some things we're committed to.
Maybe you guys are really familiar and have heard that over and over. I've actually never heard anyone say that, and I think it's so powerful.
Yeah.
Which
I
one?
think,
Belong, believe, become.
right, I've never heard anyone say
You were
that.
the first one that
And just
introduced
and
that to
thinking
me.
like it's so inviting, like you don't have to meet a standard. Of
Would you
like,
say that from the
church.
pulpit? You don't have to believe to belong here? Because I've been to a couple churches where they say that, and it's like very powerful.
Well, if I'm going to write it in a core value, I hope I can say it.
Yeah.
That's another thing I love, and I'm excited about, is just being authentic.
Yeah, you have to give space to skeptics and unbelievers. And
Yeah.
we don't give a lot of space most of the time. So.
Right.
I love the idea. 2 words and a statement after it to kind of just to describe something powerful, and even if you make it into, you have a mantra for each one.
Well, like you could do this. I know this is 3 words, but embrace the mess.
That's what I was just thinking. Yeah.
And then say, we are committed to allowing people to belong, or something. We're committed to allowing people to belong before they believe, or we believe that I can't say believe, but we believe it.
We desire.
We feel that as we focus on allowing people to belong, that they will eventually become, or I don't know, something like that. I'll have to think through that and have a creative moment.
For that simplicity, you could just put simple church. Those could be your 2 words, something like that.
Yeah.
Because really most people will connect with that compared to understanding gospel centrality or incarnational living.
Right, yeah, and some of that is a little bit of the jargon that we need to be
Right.
careful of. Right.
And if, I mean, everyone knows.
You want to talk in a way that average Joe understands. But so gospel centrality, you know, and again, the word gospel doesn't have much of a meaning to the average person, but
We'll communicate these more so verbally. Like these aren't going to be posted on our
Right.
website and stuff like that.
and we'll
So-
say them in different ways each time.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a part of the culture of who we are as a
It's,
church.
it's almost like what we will communicate